But for now, I'm actually in the kitchen with this gorgeous goddess. This is Amy Lynn, who's also from My Remedy. Now, she is an expert in nutrition. Yeah, and food. You're a chef, for goodness sake, so you know a lot about food, and you're also a naturopath.
Yes.
Now, I find that interesting. If you're already a trained chef and you opened the first raw food cafe here in Auckland, is that right?
I did, yeah.
And you've moved over into naturopathy. Let's talk about letting food be thy medicine, because I did read that somewhere.
Yeah.
Amy, yes, of course. So first of all, Amy, tell everybody watching a little bit about you and what you do.
Well, you pretty much said it.
Okay.
But yes, I'm a naturopath. I also am a chef, so I'm trying to bring the two worlds together and educate people on good food and nutrition, obviously, which is all about, so that they can lead a healthier life and not have to take 1,000 pills.
That's what we all want, because we don't have a handbag big enough for 1,000 pills, let's be honest. So Amy, you've done a lot of work around the country or around the world?
Yes, around the world.
Around the world with food.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to know is, I know you've done a lot of work, say, at retreats and creating, is it just raw food or is it a variety of food?
Originally it started off with raw food, but discovered that sometimes that's not so good for certain guts. So we do bring in a lot of vegan food as well, so cooked vegan, but mainly raw food. Yeah.
See, that's really interesting. I'd be really interested to know too, if you're watching, have you tried a raw food diet? How's that worked for you? We'd love to hear your feedback, because this is as much about us being here as it is about having you as part of that conversation. So send us in your thoughts, and we'd love to know what you eat and how that affects your wellness. So Amy, when you're working with clients, what is the normal thing you're seeing with their dietary challenges?
Well, there's plenty of things that make the gut go funny.
Yeah.
And gluten and dairy, as we know, are the two big ones that can imbalance things there, which are hard for people to cut out, especially bread. It seems to be the number one thing that people love to eat.
Yes.
But even sometimes coffee can be too much. You know, some of us drink like 5 coffees a day. You know, just trying to bring everything into balance.
What does a lot of coffee do to the gut?
Well, it can give it inflammation.
Wow.
Everyone can digest differently, but sometimes when you're not getting enough nutrition, coffee can just make things worse. It can malabsorb you as well, so you're not actually absorbing
that's incredible.
your nutrients. Yeah.
Wow, learning a lot tonight.
And then the liver has to overwork and like get all those toxins out and whatnot. Yeah.
Wow.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation, I totally agree. Now, Amy, you do a lot of work at retreats as well. So when people come to those retreats, what are they coming for? Is it because of food allergies or intolerances, or what are their goals, and what sort of results do you get?
Well, surprisingly, people do come to those kind of retreats to find their wellness. They know they're imbalanced, whether it be mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and they just want to either get away from society for a week, or mainly it's about getting back on track. A lot of it's weight loss as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but you always can intuitively know when there's something not quite right inside, although we ignore it. But that is like all those reasons people go to retreats, is just to like turn off and reset their buttons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what are the physical results you're seeing?
Amazing weight loss is the number one.
Yep.
Yeah. And just even having your bowel movements flow nicely.
We like that.
Yeah.
We like that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people can lose up to, 6 or 7 kgs in just 1 week of having.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's like cutting out all of those processed foods, and gluten and dairy and sugar is a big one as well. Just cutting that out for 1 week, you'll see amazing results. Can you imagine what you do if you 6 weeks after 6 weeks?
I would be a complete goddess then. So Amy's very kindly come into the kitchen today to show you something you can make in your own home. Super easy to make, and it's really good for your gut. What are you making?
Well, fermented foods is a big thing at the moment.
That's right.
Which is good. People are waking up and understanding that it's good for us. So today I'm just going to make some coconut kefir and coconut yogurt.
I was going to say, what is kefir?
Yeah. So a kefir is when you add a probiotic to a liquid. So you can actually do water, you can do dairy kefir, or you can do coconut. So I prefer coconut because there's no dairy. So even though when you do add probiotics to it, like a milk, it does eat the sugar.
Right.
So it's a lot more easier to digest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So even people who are lactose intolerant can sometimes handle kefir because the probiotics is eating the sugar, which is usually what people have the intolerance to.
Whoa!
Yes.
This is mind-blowing. Wow.
Yeah. And then so the probiotics eat the sugar, but they also put in good things into the water. So it's like full, like, you know, the coconut water is full of probiotics after it's been fermented.
This is mind-blowing.
It's
So
full,
I'd love to know if any of you watching tonight, if you eat fermented food. I know it's been a big food trend at the moment. People like it and they like the health benefits.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know if you make fermented food in your kitchen. If so, share a recipe, or, you know, be part of this conversation, because we love having you on board.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I've actually pre-cracked a couple of coconuts.
Okay,
just,
cool.
You know, just in case.
And you just get these from your supermarket?
Yes, I highly recommend using fresh coconuts. The taste is completely different. It's really fresh and clean. So I pre-cracked a couple of coconuts. I poured the liquid into here, and I've kept the meat of the coconut in here, which we will blend up in a second. So this is 2 coconuts, and I got about 500 mils of coconut
So you
water.
just scrape it out with a spoon?
Yeah. So you crack the coconut, you pour the liquid into a container. This is some of the coconut water.
It's so pure as well. Look at it.
Yeah, exactly. It's pure. You know exactly what's in there. A lot of the coconut waters on the market, well, probably all of them, have been pasteurized. So pretty much you're killing a lot of the enzymes even before you get it into your glass.
I didn't know that. One thing I did know is that some of the coconut waters have added sugar and things like that. So they're not quite as good for you, are they? Well, we can't say that, but it's everything in moderation.
You know what you're getting right from the coconut.
True.
Yeah. So and it hasn't been pasteurized.
Right. So if somebody is going to look at buying coconut kefir, what sort of price are they going to pay?
Yeah.
You know, if it's all processed and things like that. What's the retail?
It's quite expensive. So coconut kefir, just for a 300 ml bottle, is about $25.
Oh, sausages, eggs, and chips. It's a better thing to say than swear. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And yet, how much will this cost you for around the same amount?
Well, right now the coconuts, this was $5, but you can get them down to $2.50. You can get them from your local supermarket.
And even the markets, the farmers markets in the weekend often have them as well.
Yeah, you want to go for a young coconut though. You have to make sure that you get the young coconut, not the mature coconut, because it's hard. The meat in the mature one is quite hard. Okay. And you can't really scrape it out to make yogurt. Yeah. That has other purposes. Okay, perfect. But yeah, so it's a lot cheaper. And then with the coconut yogurt, which we'll get to next, $15 for a small.
So expensive. And if you're wanting to look after your health by adding something like this into your diet, I mean, most people don't have $15 to spend on coconut yogurt.
What if you wanted to buy kefir and coconut yogurt? That's a big deal.
That's your whole budget plan for the week. Okay, so you scrape out the coconut flesh or the coconut meat. You get all your coconut liquid,
I've poured it into here.
I want to call it juice, but it's not really a juice. It's a coconut water.
Water. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So what I've done is poured. So you need a nice jar like this. Make sure everything's clean. Mm-hmm. So I have poured the liquid, which looks like that. Yep. Into here, and the only thing you need to do is get a probiotic, and this one's dairy free. Good. To go with the whole thing, and
open it up.
Open it.
Even I can do that.
Put it in there. Yeah, very, very easy. And so you leave that to ferment on your bench? You don't put it in a fridge or anything like that? No, you need room temperature, even slightly warm if you can. So in the hot water cupboard is always nice. Wow. And how long do you leave it? If it's a warm environment, probably about 24 hours will be enough. But if it's still like wintry and you're leaving it on your bench, I'd say 48 hours. That is amazing. And it's going to turn a white color as well. So you know it's done when it's white and it's bubbly. Excellent. So there you go. Nice and easy to make. So that's going to be great for you. It's going to taste good as well. I always call it like a raw champagne. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's nicely served in the champagne glass. You can put some strawberries in there. And perfect. Yeah. It sounds great. Yeah. I like it a lot. Yeah, so that's going to do its thing on the bench for 2 days. And then the coconut yogurt. Yes. So the coconut yogurt, when you buy it in the supermarket, has been made from coconut milk. And that, again, has been processed. Wow. So you get a very different flavor as well. I mean, if you know like coconut milk, what coconut milk tastes like, you're actually just having that with thickened, coconut milk with the probiotic in it. However, I find that coconut meat straight from the coconut has such a different flavor, and it's so clean and pure, and it's not overwhelming. I'm not sure if you've tried coconut yogurt from the supermarket, but
Yes,
it's
I
really
have.
heavy, and you can't.
It is
too much.
very thick.
Yeah, it's
You just want a tablespoon and you're done.
yeah, exactly. But this is a little lighter. So coconut meat from the coconuts, and
Yes.
you just put it straight into a blender, and
then you blend it, add your probiotic.
probiotic. Yeah.
I never thought of doing anything like that, adding those condensed nutrients, as Lynette would call it, into your food. That's such a genius idea.
Yeah, and it's so simple and easy, and you can just keep them going. And that's another thing actually about coconut kefir. You can make one batch, and then you save a little bit, about that much from each batch, and then you can use that to start your new one. So you actually, so your money goes a lot further because you're using already the mother or the starter of, it's like sourdough. You know, you can just keep using. Yeah,
This
you
just
can use
keeps
it
on
for
going and
about 7
going.
times. Yeah, so that saves you money there as well.
That's great.
You just need to invest in the probiotics. But I'm just saving a little bit of coconut water to help blend it. So I'm just gonna like put a little bit in there to get it going, and it's going to be loud for a second.
Okay. I'd be interested to know how many of you would love to try this recipe as well. Because you can go. You can go. Go for it. And how if you would try it. I think we need to switch it on at the wall. If you would give it a go, and if so, we'd love to know what the flavour's like for you if you want to try it over the next week. We love hearing from you here at the show. It's great to have you guys with us and part of the community. So the first thing I have to tell you is the smell is beautiful. It's very aromatic and delicious. Oh yeah, that's great. That is really nice.
So that is like the consistency of coconut milk, right? So you just pour that into your jar.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and leave that on the bench for 2 days as well, and it will ferment. It'll get a little bit of a tang to it, and it's just, you know exactly what's in there. It's
So then
fresh.
after 2 days, would you store it in the fridge?
Yes. So once it's fermented, you put it in the fridge. Otherwise, it'll just keep fermenting, and it still does slightly in the fridge as well, but very, very slowly. Yeah. So this is a base for so many things. You can put fruit. You can put chia seed jam in there. You can do anything with that, and you've just got two products out of one coconut.
One coconut.
Well, two of what made all that. But yeah.
Look, that's amazing. Amy, thank you for being in the kitchen with us today. I know you're going to join us on the couch in just a moment so we can talk a little bit more into gut health. Yeah. But I want to know what your thoughts are. It's a pretty exciting time here at the show where we get to help you on your journey with gut health. So if you want to know more, make sure you hop onto the news feed. Just trying to find the right screen here for you. Hop onto the news feed and be part of the conversation, because we want to know how we can work with you to find your way to wellness. Amy, thank you so much. Nice and easy recipe. That's what we love.